Hello everyone, it's Melanie. I have some traveler's notebooks that I'm going to put in my Etsy shop, and I thought I would give you a little preview of them. My traveler's notebook journal journey started in, I think, like 2015, maybe? Yeah, I think it was 2015. And this is the first one I had. I made this cover myself, this leather cover, and used it for a few years, I guess 2 years, because I was doing it in 2015, and then I bought this official Midori Traveler's Notebook cover in 2017, and this is the Pan Am Traveler's Edition. It's this blue, really dark, beautiful blue leather, and it's just fantastic. And I used it for 2 years, up until 2018. And when I went to order inserts for 2019 last year, they were so expensive. And I mean, it was going to be, I like to use the year that's already, with the calendars and everything in it, that's already printed. And then I really like using these, which are weekly calendars. So it was going to be like over $100 for the set of the year and the weeks and whatever. And I have tried over the years making my own calendars. That one's blank. And making my own inserts. But for some reason, every time I do it, I just would go back to the actual Traveler's Notebook inserts. They're just incredible. They have this, some of them have this paper called Tome River paper, which I've also bought some of, but it's incredible paper, and I love it. So I just keep going back to these inserts, but anyway, I didn't use my Traveler's Notebook this year because I didn't buy any inserts. So earlier this year, though, I did buy a Traveler's Notebook insert from Gail Augustinelli, and I have not been able to write in it yet. It's very beautiful, and it smells wonderful, and I just can't bring myself to write in it. And it's actually a little bit big for my Traveler's Notebook cover. It fits. It's a little tight. Anyway, I just can't bring myself to write in it. So I was thinking I would make some more, and I have not been spending much time on YouTube lately. I've been spending most of my time on Netflix lately, but I searched for some Traveler's Notebook stuff, and I found a new channel new to me. Her name is Tiffy Butter. I think that she's located in Canada. And I watched one of her videos where she made some Traveler's Notebook inserts. And her inspiration plus Gail's inspiration, I decided to make some junk journal style Traveler's Notebooks. So here's what I came up with. And I'm going to put these 3 in my Etsy shop. So I'm going to do a quick flip through of these. This one I made, I'm going to keep this one for myself. So this one's it's going to be my inspiration piece. And this one's going to go in my Traveler's Notebook, which I desperately miss having my Traveler's Notebook, because I would also use it sometimes as a wallet. I have so many inserts. Like, I've got, there's the pocket inserts. I've got these kind of inserts I've got these that have Post-it notes on them. I don't know what's in here, so I don't. There's another one that's the card pockets and stuff. Anyway, I've bought a lot of things for it over the years, and I really love it. So I miss working in it. And I think this may be the next junk journal that I work in. I'm going to do it in my Traveler's Notebook, and then start keeping my calendar. Definitely for 2020, I'm going to go back to this because I've missed it so much for 2019. But I'll show you that one in a minute. Here's the first one, and this one I'm going to call Eclectic Floral, I think, or Eclectic Flowers. So these are cardstock covers. I stitched around the edges, and I put tuck spots in the front and back, which kind of reinforces the thickness of the cover on these front edges. So this one has, this is the first one I made. This one has 44 pages, and it's got a little collage of goodies on the front. There's a bee and a little eyelet with a little key on it. And then this is a stamp that I carved, one of my stamps, with some gold embossing on it. So it's fun to kind of get the inspiration, you know, from Tiffy and, you know, from Gail, and then give it my own touch. And that kind of evolved as I went, you know, with what I was doing with them. So I'll just do a quick flip through. This is most of the ephemera in here is copies, printouts, but they have some little tuck spots and some embellishments, some lots of coffee dyed paper. These are my another of my hand carved stamps. This is actually one of those note cards that I got at an estate sale recently, and I just glued the bottom of it and made it into a little pocket. And I distressed some of this, you know, with vintage photo, but it's such a fine line. I never know, you know, how much of that to do, because it's like once you start doing it, you're kind of locked into doing it everywhere, and I don't necessarily want to do it everywhere. But anyway, some book pages. These just have little things in the tuck spots and in the pockets. There's a little sack. This one just is a card. This is more of my stamping. This one has a little fold out. This is some of my, I'm hoarding this. I'm going to be so sad when it's gone. Some vintage onion skin typewriter paper. And it's just a fabric with this one has a little button tied on. More of that onion skin. These are Artie Mae's tickets that I bought. The digital. And printed a few of them. Some more coffee dyed paper and some old desk calendar insert. An old desk calendar. There's a flower, another flower. This is the back side of that greeting card, that blue greeting card. And there's a little page pocket with a tag in it. So this is the first one I made. And so I was just kind of getting a feel for how I wanted to decorate, you know, a junk journal version of the Traveler's Notebook. And the other thing I try to do when I'm getting inspiration from someone else, like Tiffy Butter, is, you know, I watch her video, and she even does a video and shows you how she makes hers. But I'll watch her video and then I won't go back to it. So anything I retain, I can kind of like jump off from there, but that way I'm not just copying her. This one I'm going to call Eclectic Bingo, and it's another cardstock scrapbook cover. This one has the same thing. I put little pockets in the front and back. Now this one, the day that I was making this one, I watched Gail's video that morning, and she was doing she dripped beeswax on some flower embellishments that she had, and I thought, oh, I'll try that. So I was working on this journal at the time, and I tried it right up here, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I ended up putting a green stamp over it, and now there's a little beeswax stain on the inside. So that's just beeswax, that's all that is. And then on the outside, I just clipped this flower over over it because I wanted to put a flower on all of them. And I thought, oh, well, that little beeswax stain, that's a good place to put it. So this one has a little bee on it also, and then some charms and a little tag. And this one has a different kind of gold embossed on the front from my my stamp that I carved. Oh, it looks like I bent that. I'll have to put a new one on there. So this one has just some goodies, and I didn't embellish too heavily because I like, you know, for me, I like to be able to do the embellishing and that kind of thing when I get to that page. This is another one, a card from that estate sale recently. And this is some laces that I scanned. And then this is some coffee dyed paper that I scanned. Here's that onion skin with some stamping on it. An old Watkins receipt and a vintage guest check. Little half pocket. More coffee dyed paper and onion skin paper. Some coffee stained graph paper. There's the center spread of this one with a little bit of lace on it. More of that onion skin, more just coffee stained paper and some printed ephemera. There's a note tag and a little envelope with its little insert card in there. It's kind of tight because I stitched it on, but that's actually the insert that goes with this tiny envelope, which I love. This one just has a little lock, and that's a gemstone from the estate sale that I went to, and then I bought these. I bought the Sizzix tag cutter dies and have been cutting tags like crazy. So it's just got some of those, some more of my carved stamps. There's an envelope. It's just an index card in there. Another blank tag ready to be embellished. And some more of the Sizzix things that I cut out because I was on a Sizzix kick. And another little tuck spot. This is a vintage punch card. This is some printed ledger paper, and then coffee dyed or some coffee stained paper printed on the back, and then more coffee stained paper and stamping. And then there's the back page of this one, a little printed postcard and some more paper. So that one I'm going to call Eclectic Bingo. And then this is the last one, the most recent one that I made. Actually, I made the one that I made that I'm going to keep. I made this one third, and then this is the fourth one that I made. And I tried something different on the cover on this one, and I didn't like it. So when I took it off, it left a little hole in the cover. So I think that what happened after that turned out even better because I just took a piece of burlap and did a little bit of embroidery on it. I just put a lazy daisy and some cross hatches to kind of represent leaves and stuff. And I glued that on over the hole, and then it's just a tiny hole, and then I put this on the back of it to reinforce it. So I think it's stronger than it was before, and I really like this little embroidery. Little embroidery on the front. So this one also has some embossing. It has a bee and some stamps collaged on it. And it also has a piece of fabric reinforcing the spine. And for this one, I just folded the pages in to make the tuck spots in the front and back. So here's a flip through on this one. Oh, this one I was really excited because I have a lot of scrapbook paper that I think is really pretty, but the back is white. So I thought, oh, I should print on the back of the scrapbook paper. So this is a scan of some of my some composition book paper that I coffee stained and then scanned. So I just made it to fit in this case at 12 by 12 because I have a large format printer that I can print things wide. So these were some scrapbook papers that I really liked the paper itself, but the back is white. So I didn't print it borderless because I have to print at best photo quality or whatever in order to print borderless, and I didn't want to do that with these. But so these, I just printed some coffee dyed paper on the back of these, and I am so excited because then I can use this scrapbook paper in my journals and like this, and it turned out great. So this is a piece of scrapbook paper with some of my coffee dyed paper printed on the back, and then a stamp. And this one has some ledger, and I just made, this is just plain notebook paper. I made a little booklet to go in that pocket. That's one of my watercolor labels. And just some pockets, onion skin. This one, since I was doing a pink and red kind of thing, I put a doily in there. More pink and red and lace. This little cluster is just clipped on printout of a vintage postcard. And I'm not really a cat person, but I was looking through my note cards for one to put in here, and this one was so perfect with this that I just couldn't resist. So there's an adorable kitten in there. I was still playing with the Sizzix. So I know there's another tuck spot. That's just a coffee dyed index card in there. For the center of this one, I made an envelope and bound it into the center, and then it's just got a piece of scrapbook paper with the lined coffee dyed paper on the back. And there's the clip-on flower for that one, just a little piece of paper in there. And for this one, I just made a little charm out of a red rose bead, and that's another one of those gemstones that I got from that estate sale. The other half of that little kitten card, more tags, unembellished, so you can do whatever you want to with them. Here's the punch card, and I just stitched some stuff onto the top of it. More of that onion skin paper. And then this is just some paper and goodies and things I tucked in there. This is another one of my hand-carved stamps, but I didn't let it dry all the way before I closed it, so you get kind of an impression of it on that side too. And then just some more, another piece of scrapbook paper and ledger paper, and then I was just playing with the Sizzix again because mine's new. I haven't had it very long. So, kind of a long video. I'll put the timestamps for each of these flip-through journals in the description down below, along with a link to my Etsy shop and a link to Tiffy Butler's video that inspired me. And then really quick, I'll show you, because I have it here. This is the one that I made that I decided I'm going to keep this one. I also like to have kind of an example for myself, you know, because when I made my first Golden Book Encyclopedia journals, I sold them all, and then it was like they were gone, and I didn't have one to sort of refer to for myself. But I bought this paper pad the other day at Tuesday Morning for this piece of paper. I love this paper. So this one I stitched, and I stitched around the edges, I kind of overlocked the stitches on the edge. I don't know if you can see that. This one has some burlap and some Prima flowers that I got at Hobby Lobby. Another embossed image of my flower stamp, and then it's just got more. This is from that estate sale, and this one I didn't embellish very much or put too much into, and I think I'd like to do another one in this color scheme inspired by this paper pad, because I really like this color scheme. So this one has more of the papers that I printed on the front and back. It's coffee dyed. This one has an envelope in the center also. This is some vintage stationery. There's some pockets and lacy stuff. I love lace. Yeah, I'll have to make another one or two of these because I just love these colors. Some edge punching on that one. It's the back of the card. I went ahead and put a punch card in this one too, and then just a little tuck in the back. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you're interested in one of these, they'll be in my Etsy shop. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.